The Deadly Game Tournament is back, and this time it's to determine the greatest Survivor Series team of all time in history. Come on in. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Seth Grimes, and today we got something special for you here. Today we are bringing back the greatest tournament in the history of professional wrestling. We're taking off the shelf and dusting off the old Deadly Game Tournament. That's right, Deadly Games Volume 2. And this time, we are here to determine the greatest Survivor Series team in the entire history of Survivor Series. That's right, all the 4-man, 5-man, 6-man teams throughout the entire history since 1987 or whatever, 88, all the way up through last year's Survivor Series. We haven't seen this year's Survivor Series as I record this. This is in honor of Survivor Series coming out this weekend, so I thought it would be fun to look back and review the greatest teams of all time. Now, these teams were pulled from WWE.com, and there are literally over 100 Survivor Series teams. I initially had this narrowed down to 32, but that was going to be a really long video. So instead, in honor of it being a Deadly Games tournament, we are going to narrow it down to 16. Now, I know the Deadly Games originally only had 14, but I don't like to give people buys. You only use buys if there's like a bias or something, so we're going to skip all that. We are going to do 16 teams that I have handpicked from WWE.com as, in my personal opinion, are the greatest 16 teams ever assembled in the history of Survivor Series. Maybe your favorite team didn't make the list. If not, you can go record a video and record your own bracket fights, tier list of ranking the Survivor Series teams and pick your own goddamn teams. With all that said, a couple rules before we jump right over and we'll get right to it. These are teams of 4, 5, or 6 may end up in the mix. Did not intend that to rhyme. There will be no women's teams simply because they would get squashed out in the competition. No offense to women, but the competition, the rules will go as follows. Teams will be matched up by star power. So the winning team will have the superior star power in the team, both at the time and historically. In the future, we can take that into consideration. And then also skill set. So if their WWE 2K ranking would be 89 and the other guys would be 87, 89 is going to go over, okay? We're going to bust through these quick, but we are going to try to do eliminations and see how that might look. We're not going to do fantasy booking and book how or anything. We're just going to see who might get whittled away and who might get left standing. There'll be a little bit of fantasy involved, but it will be based on those rules that I just provided. In the event that somebody matches up with themselves, for example, Hulk Hogan's team against another Hulk Hogan's team. In the event of that happening, we will take Hulk Hogan, whatever team. You know, let's say he's prime 80s on one team, and let's say he's, you know, in the 2000s and at the end of his career in the other team, the early 80s Hogan would go over that Hogan. If for some reason they're from the same era where it's really indistinguishable, then they'll just cancel each other out, double elimination, count out or something on the outside. With that said, and also this being a Deadly Games tournament, I promise no shenanigans. This will be on the up and up, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Before I do, if I could bug you to, at any point in time, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. That's what we're doing it for here. That's it for the plugs. Hope you had a happy Turkey Day. Now let's go ahead and dive on into this bracket. Look at that, guys. A WWE themed C4. It's pretty bussin' too. Barry Powerbomb. Fucking A. As you can see, I have the brackets set up over here. This is going to be 16 slots. You see there's 8 teams on each side. I did already randomize this, but just to show good faith, we are going to go ahead and randomize this more. We have this shuffle seating button. Let's go ahead and click that once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we'll go 15 and 16. Once for every single bracket. So, you guys have watched me sufficiently shuffle this deck. I have no idea what team is going to be lining up with what team. I'm going to be surprised, as you are, as they pop up. But in the end, the best will prevail. Let's go ahead and let's see here. It's been a minute since I've been over here. Hopefully, is this the button? Boom! There it is. Let's see who's going to win our first here. We have, this is probably my favorite team. Okay, I'm going to show a little bit of bias here because this is one of my absolute favorite teams in the history of the Survivor Series. The DX, Triple H Shawn Michaels version with Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, and the goddamn CM Punk. DX, Hardy Boys, CM Punk, and early CM Punk. That is a banger of a Survivor Series team. And I do believe to back that up, they went, it was a shutout, right? None of them were eliminated. They are going head to head with another banger of a team here. Looks like just a 4-man team. We got John Cena, The Big Show, Eddie Guerrero, and Rob Van Dam. Jesus. So these are, like I said, handpicked what I feel are 16 of the best Survivor Series teams of all time. This one, definitely a tough one. But you got to figure, first of all, the 4-man team is outmanned. My apologies if there's a 5th, but this picture was taken straight off of WWE.com and does not show a 5th man. So right off the bat, they're going to be outnumbered. I think Big Show is significantly big enough to possibly eliminate 2 people on his own. So he's going to eliminate both the Hardy Boys. And then Triple H is going to get one over on Rob Van Dam. And Shawn Michaels is going to get one over on the Big Show. And let's see, that leaves Cena and Eddie Guerrero against DX and Punk. Punk's going to get one over on Cena. Eddie's going to pin Punk. And then DX is going to finish off Eddie Guerrero for the win here. It's going to be the team of DX, the Hardy Boys, and CM Punk. Now, we're not going to go into super detail all the time, but hey, we're winging this as we go. What do we got here? We got Rey Mysterio, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, and Kane. Oh boy. Versus, it's 4-on-4 here. At least this one's fair. Axe and Smash of the Demolition, Hulkamania, Brother, and Jake the Snake-Up Roberts. Holy shit, what a banger of a match this would end up being. Both teams in their prime. I gotta think. I think Jake the Snake's gonna pin Kane. I think Demolition is gonna take out Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy. And I think the Hulkster and Triple H. It's gotta be the Hulkster. Oof. I think if you match these teams up side by side, I think it's gonna be. I think the team of Hogan. Would they though? Would Demolition beat Kane and Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy? I don't think so. I think the Hulkster could. But when you're taking into consideration overall star power, I think you got to give it to Kane, Rey Mysterio, Triple H, and Jeff Hardy. We're going to go with them for the win. Moving on. Oh, here we go. Here's a fun team. The dudes with attitudes. Nash, Diesel, Big Daddy Cool, along with the Heartbreak Kid. We got Owen and the Anvil, and then JERRETT. JEW. It doesn't matter. Fuck him. And his blinky hat. Then we got on the other side. Who do we got here? We got Randy Orton, The Miz, Bryan Danielson, Kofi Kingston. Is that what we got here? Elias is in Kane. Kane's there too. Team Hell No. Kane, Bryan Danielson, The Miz, Kofi, motherfucking Kingston, Randy Orton. They got to get the win, right? Kane, Danielson, Orton. Even Miz and Kofi are better than fucking Jarrett and Anvil. That's who's getting the win. Moving on. Oh, this is fun. So we have the Real Americans, Jack Swagger and Cesaro, teaming up with the Shield. That's Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and John motherfucking Moxley in his Dean Ambrose days. Maybe not as bloody, right? But look, they're up against a fucking brick wall here. The Rock, Chris Jericho in his prime, The Undertaker, Kane, and The Big Show. With Vince McMahon basically saying you're fired if you fuck this up. Because the company is still on the line here, of course. We don't want it to go to the Real Americans. We're going to have to go as great as... I mean, come on now. On the other hand, we got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. It's basically... Moxley is today's biggest stars against yesterday's biggest stars in a lot of ways. And Jack Swagger and Cesaro, who's good, but he's not necessarily a big star. Ugh. But Roman at this time wasn't at his peak, and neither was Seth, and neither was Mox. So I think we got to go with this all-star WWE team here, taking on the Alliance, winning one for the company, and Mr. McMahon. They're going to move on. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, it's going through the first round of the brackets before it gets to the next one. I forgot it did that. I was going to say, what do I got this on here twice? We don't. And we also have our first double up here. We got Triple H on both teams, and we got Jeff Hardy on both teams. That's fucking interesting, isn't it? So they got to cancel each other out, which leaves Punk and Michaels and Matt Hardy versus Rey Mysterio and Kane. Well, I think Punk and Matt Hardy and Shawn Michaels would beat Kane and Rey Mysterio. So we are going to have to go ahead and move my favoriteest team in the whole world forward. DX, the Hardys, and CM motherfucking Punk. All right, here we go. I'm going to have a sip of my WWE C4 energy drink. Berry Powerbomb. So you motherfuckers need to start sponsoring me. I've been saying this since like day one. I need an energy drink sponsor because I am an energy drink fanatic. You just waste like 3 seconds of your life watching me take a drink. Man, you know, look, as good as this team is with, we got Team Hell No, Kane and Bryan Danielson. We got Randy motherfucking Orton, Miz, Kofi. Now, I guess you can cancel out the Kanes, right? We got another example of two guys going head to head here. But even still, if you do that, it's a no-brainer. This Team WWE has to move forward. That's a tough one. Oh, shit. Here we go. Fuck. This is a tough one. My favorite team versus probably the best team. Oh, boy. Well, we'll see. Let's pick this apart here. Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Probably better than Jericho and Big Show. You got Taker. Kane. Jericho, The Rock. You know, the Hardy Boys are good, but they are weak links in here. And CM Punk in this era was not peak CM Punk. So as much as I love this team, I think logically, if these two teams were going up, this team from this era, head-to-head with this team from this era, it's got to be Vince's Team WWE. All right, here's a fun one. What do we got here? We got the Warriors, right? We got the Road Warriors, the Ultimate Warrior, and the modern-day Warrior, Kerry motherfucking Von Erich. What is he doing with those pants and those suspenders? What are you thinking, bro? That was peak Warrior, though. Look at that motherfucker. He's got the neon on the black tights, and he's got just the logo on the cheek. I always loved that. And the blue fucking winged eagle. Makes my dick hard. What do we got over here? We got Rob Van Dam, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer. Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Rob and Shane, all unfortunately are much better than the Road Warriors and Ultimate Warrior and Kerry Von Erich. So we're going to go ahead and move them forward. Another goddamn Rob Van Dam. What do we got here? Shawn Michaels, Rob Van Dam, Chris Jericho, Shelton Benjamin. I'm sorry, I'm blind. What the fuck you want? Can you see that? This came from WWE.com, by the way, so don't blame me. This was their picture. This was like, hey, this is what we think is a good picture for this team. Well, I mean, you're going up against Roman and Seth, more closer to their prime now at this point. Jericho, Kevin Owens as the world champ at the time, and the Strowman against what? Michaels and Jericho. Jericho cancels each other out. Rob Van Dam, Michaels. I think this one might be controversial here, but I think you got to go with Roman and Seth and Jericho and Owens and Strowman. Oh, fuck. This one's going to be a problem. Oh, I do have one on there twice. Well, okay, so that's my error. We got Cena and Big Show. Fuck you. We got Cena, Big Show, Rob Van Dam, and Eddie Guerrero. They were already eliminated. But you know what? It is the Deadly Games, and there are shenanigans, and there were buys in the Deadly Games. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and scoot the Bloodline forward because they were going to win that one anyway, right? What do we got here? Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. What do we got here? Andre the Giant. Harley Race, Mr. Perfect, Dino Bravo, and Ravishing Rick Rude. What a team. What a team. That is an 80s bad guy team if I've ever said. That's an ultimate bad guy team. And Dino Bravo. And they're going up against Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, and William Regal. It's a solid team, and Ted DiBiase there too. So it's the the legacy with William Regal and Punk. Got to give it to the OGs, the 80s legends, right? Andre, Harley Race, Mr. Perfect, Dino Bravo, Rick Rude. A team could kick every single one of their asses with one hand tied behind their back each. And William Regal is no puss. But you have to go with that team. All right, narrowing it down here. Now we got RVD, Shane McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Kurt Angle versus KO, Chris Jericho, the Braun Strowman, Roman, and Seth. I would say just the man advantage. But then on the other team, those men are Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle. I think, going through it in my head here, I think RVD would get eliminated. I think Shane would get eliminated. And I think Owens, Jericho, Rollins, and Strowman. I think it would come down to Roman and Austin and Angle. If you want to do Seth and Roman against Austin and Angle. And then at that point, who do you pick? Well, I mean, if you go in their primes, it's a little bit more debatable. But if you're going like in this picture, which is part of the rules here, Rollins and Roman were not peak prime yet. And I don't think they could overcome Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kurt Angle. So I'm going to go with that team right there. Oh boy, this is a fun one. What do we got here? The Bloodline. Dun, 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 dun. And this is last year's Bloodline team. Against, oh man, Andre, Harley. Perfect. That's a tough one. You gotta think Andre and them would just squash the shit out of the Bloodline, though, wouldn't they? I think Roman, because this is peak Roman now, right? Still in his undefeated era. You got Solo as a beast. The Usos aren't bad. Sammy's a good fighter. I think Sammy would take out Dino Bravo. I think both Usos would get eliminated. I think Solo would hang for a while, but might get eliminated by Andre. I think Roman could take Andre, because Andre was a bit kind of washed up at this point, and Roman is at his absolute peak. And Roman at his absolute peak is a... Oof. Yeah, let's go Bloodline on this one. That's a tough one, though. That really is a fucking tough one. That one... I mean, because Andre is just... Who on this team, who in any modern era is going to be able to beat Andre? And Harley Race is a tough old bastard, but he was older at that time. Dino's a strong man, but Hennig wasn't quite at his peak prime, but he was damn good still at that time. Rick Rude. That's a toughie, but I think I'm going to go Bloodline with Roman being the last one standing, just dishing out fucking... dishing out Superman punches on Andre. Boom, boom, boom. Just multiple. Just laying motherfuckers out with Superman punches. And I think after like 3, 4, 5 of them bitches, kind of like Orange Cassidy did to Mox at Full Gear, to Andre, I think he could knock Andre down to one knee, blast him with one more, done. Oof, that was a hard fought. That was a tough. They barely escaped that one. We'll see who we got here now. We got Rob Van Dam, Shane McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Kurt Angle versus the Bloodline. I wouldn't be shocked to see Solo get booked to take out like a Stone Cold even here. But Rob's getting eliminated. Sammy's getting eliminated. The Usos are getting eliminated. Shane will get eliminated. It leaves again Austin and Kurt against what? Roman and Solo? Modern day Roman versus modern day Austin and Angle. Like prime, not modern day, prime. Oof. That's a stiff one too, guys. You know what? I think I'm going to go with the Bloodline on this one. I think Roman and Solo could end up squeaking one out over Stone Cold and Kurt. Call me crazy. Let me know down in the comments. But I think that's the play to make. I think the Bloodline, again, with Roman, probably Roman and Solo as the sole survivors. God dang. Tough one. And here we are. Speaking of tough one, the grand finale. Who is the greatest Survivor Series team of all time? Before we do, another quick plug here, just to hit that subscribe. If you had fun, if you liked what you were watching, and I did make this one a little bit shorter, so I hope that you guys do get a chance to enjoy this. Who do you think should have won? Did anybody get left off the list? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit that subscribe while you're there. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and finish this bitch off. The grand finale, if you will. The super ultimate Survivor Series match. The Rock, Chris Jericho, Undertaker, Kane, and The Big Show, managed by Vince McMahon, against the Usos, Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, and Roman Reigns, managed by Paul Heyman. I think Sammy's better than this era's Jericho, so there's that. Jericho is out. Jericho gets the elimination. I think the Usos eliminate Big Show, so I think Big Show's out. Jericho's out. I think Kane comes in and wrecks shop on the Usos and Sami Zayn, lays them all out. And then Solo comes in and beats the dog out of Kane, gets the better of Kane, and actually pins Kane. So Kane's gone. But everybody else has the tar beat out of him. That's when The Rock comes in, cleans house, rock bottom, bing, bang, boom, takes out Sami Zayn, takes out both Usos, down to Solo and Roman versus The Rock and The Undertaker. Oh, boy. And The Rock, his family. Let's see here. I think Solo going at it with a fresh Undertaker. Maybe Undertaker was in there a little bit, but this is really like he's kind of like the reserve tank, right? Comes in fresh fucking. I think Solo, as good as he is not going to overcome the Undertaker. So Undertaker is going to put down Solo, leaving Roman Reigns alone for his team. The modern day Roman Reigns, 2-on-1 against the American Badass Undertaker and The Rock. And wouldn't you know it, because it's the Deadly Games tournament, motherfucker. The Rock turns on the Undertaker, rock bottom, boom. Helps his brother, his cousin, Roman, holds his hand up high as Roman gets the 1, 2, and 3. Your winner, the greatest Survivor Series team of all time ever, the Bloodline. Dun, 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 dun. Now, if I was playing this fair and square, I do think this WWE team would have won the whole goddamn thing. They are amazing. Such a good team. But because it's the Deadly Games and we got shenanigans, and it was the shenanigans with The Rock, remember? I mean, you got to do it again, and he turns and he helps his fucking fam, the familia. So that's it. That's the G's right there. Bloodline for the win. That's it, y'all. Thank you guys for hanging out and sticking to the end and seeing who truly is the greatest Survivor Series team of all time. I think it checks out, in my opinion. Pound for pound, I think that Invasion Angle Survivor Series team, where Vince put together his team of the best of the best of the best to take on the Alliance, I think that team, pound for pound, I think it played out the way that it should, would beat everybody, every last team that ever was. I just think with the Bloodline making it to the end, it only made sense to book the screw job, brother. Big swerve, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I did it. I hope you guys had fun. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the rest of your holiday up through the weekend, and including the Survivor Series this year, where CM Punk definitely absolutely will not show up, but who knows. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we will catch you in the next video.